Let's do it. Bum, 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 bum. Yes, my friends, we're here. We're ready to rock and roll with some more Dominions. Welcome to the 14th, that's right, 14th expansion for the original Dominion game that was released way back. When was that? That was like 2006, 2005, long time ago. 14 big expansions. How many games out there? How many games out there have seen 14 expansions? And I believe, except for 2 of the expansions were small box, all of them were big box expansions. We're talking major expansions, not just a little bitty add 10 cards and a couple tokens, right? We're talking no. This box here, let's look at it. Bump, 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 bump. 400 cards. What kind of game out there has 14 expansions adding 300 to 400 cards apiece, plus tokens and new ways to play it, new mechanics? It's crazy. Want to know why this game should be ranked in the top 5 of everyone's games out there? Replayability and variety. If you love those kinds of things, and deck building, I mean, Dominion should be your number 1 game of all time. It is for me. So let's take a look at what's inside the box, shall we? Because there's a bunch of stuff. We just have to figure out what is in here without breaking it. Here. Of course not. Stop that. 14 expansions. That's right, 14 expansions. Big box expansions too. I think, like I said, there's only 2 or 3. Alchemy was kind of a small one. Cornucopia was a small one. I buy them all when they're on sale, Harold. I buy them when they're on sale. Dominion Allies. Let's see what's inside the box. All right, what do we have here today? Of course, got the Rio Grande Games catalog. Dominion 2009 Game of the Year. Bam. Look at that. Dominion. Intrigue. Mangeray. Seaside. Nicolzer. Guilds. Cornucopia. Empires. Prosperity. Hinterlands. Dark Ages. Adventures. Renaissance. Alchemy. All expansions for the great Dominion. And of course, all their other wonderful games. Let's see what's in the box. Favors. Looks like we got some favors. Everyone's going to get a favor board. Let's get some favors out here. Let's talk about some favors. Let's everyone do some favors. Allies. It's a celebration. People are dancing in the street and riding horses through the dance halls. We finally formed an alliance with the Barbarians to the north. Instead of the streets running red with blood, they'll run, well, the usual color. Let's not focus on what color the streets run. The point is, there's peace. Sure, negotiations were tricky. The Barbarians were uncouth, but they have no 5-second rule and struck out the wrong finger when drinking tea. There are perks too, though. They've given you skulls to drink meat out of and spices to rid the skull of aftertastes. And you've given them stuff in return. Forks, mirrors, and plants. It's great for everyone. And with the treaty out of the way, you can get to work with our other neighbors. Soon all the allies will be yours. This is the 14th expansion for Dominion. It is 400 cards, 31 new kingdom cards. 3 are allies that will do favors for you, and split piles that you can rotate. Dominion Allies is an expansion, cannot be played by itself. You need the base game, the new cards, the rules provided in the base game. Dominion Allies can also be combined with other Dominion expansions you have. Of course, we will. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, Harold. Thanks for coming by. So, we're going to look at some of the cards. We've got some notes about the cards. Yada, yada, yada. We have our center board, or center. We have our boom, boom, boom. We have some metal tokens, right? Not cheapo tokens. These are metal tokens. These are actually heavy metal tokens. Listen to them. Listen, you ready? Yeah, these are metal. You know they are. They're probably gold. I think they are gold, actually. They do look gold. I think they might be gold. I don't know for sure, but they do feel heavy enough to be gold. So, it is the 14th expansion. They should be gold for as much as we spent on this game so far. But that is another story, my friends. It has all been well worth it. Of course now, you can actually get Dominion on Steam, my friends. Dominion is coming to Steam. So you can play it on the computer as well. Let's open the packages and take a look at the cards. We'll get to them in just a second. Let me open all of the packages and we'll look at each of these new cards. Talk about it. Let's see. Are any of them decent? Are any of them good? Are any of them worth including? Which ones would you buy if you need to? And not only that, but we might get a chance to play some Dominion with our good friend of the channel, Herman Lootman, and show him some Dominion stuff, because he is enjoying Dominion and everything that comes with it. So, let's look for our, here they are, here's one of them. All right. We have the Wizards random card. The Wizards random card. This pal starts the game with 4 copies each of Student, Conjurer, Sorcerer, and Lich. In that order, only the top card can be gained or bought. And then we have an ally deck. You can see quite a few allies. We have League of Shopkeepers, the Market Town, Mountain Folk, the Order of Astrologers, the Order of Masons, the Peaceful Cult, the Plateau Shepherds, the Trapper's Lodge. So a whole bunch of different ones. So let's see. Let's look at what ally. Let's find out what that terminology is so we all understand. What is an ally? Is it kind of like an event that you can buy? Allies. Allies are landscape cards that give flavor tokens a use. Favor tokens. Learn how to read. Yes. So these favor tokens, you're going to use favor tokens. Set up if there are any liaisons in the game. So if you choose allies or any of the liaisons in the game, you're going to use these favor boards, and then you're going to earn favor. Liaisons are kingdom cards that provide a way to get favored tokens. In games with liaisons, deal out random ally to use that game. Use only one ally per game, even with multiple liaisons. You can still have as many other landscape cards, such as events, landmarks, projects, and ways, as otherwise you would want. Coin tokens are used as favors. That's why we have the coins. They go on the favors mat to distinguish them from coffer and villagers from other expansions, which have their own mats. When a card gives you +1 favor, add a token to your mat. When spending a favor, remove the token from your mat. Favors may be used starting with the first turn of the game, but they may not be used prior to that turn. Spending favors are always optional. Spending favors can only be done once per time. An ally ability triggers unless it says repeat as desired. Alright, so we have some split cards we're going to look at. Duration cards, more duration cards. And then, of course, our kingdom cards. Let's see if there's anything else. And I don't think so. All right, so our allies. So we'd have a random ally card in play if we got a liaison. All right, so ally Woodcutter Guild. At the start of the buy phase, you may spend a favor to trash an action card from your hand. If you did, gain an action card. The League of Shopkeepers. After playing the liaison, if you have 5 or more favors, you get +1 money, and if 10 or more, you get +1 action and +1 buy. So kind of a way to hoard a bunch of liaisons. Market Town, at the start of your buy phase, you may spend a favor to play an action card from your hand and repeat as desired. Mountain Folk. At the start of your turn, you may spend 5 favor for +3 cards. Order of Astrologers. When shuffling, you may pick 1 card per favor you spend to go on top. After shuffling, you may pick 1 card per favor you spend to go on top. When shuffling, you may pick up to 2 cards per favor to spend to put into your discard pile. That's the Order of Masons. Peaceful Cult. At the start of your buy phase, you may spend any number of favors to trash that many cards from your hand. Plateau of Shepherds. When scoring, pair up your favor with cards you have cost 2, and you get 2 victory points per pair. All right, so a bunch of different allies to add. Let's see where these guys, of course they go in this huge area, which makes no sense whatsoever. We'll have to adjust that on the fly. All right, let's look at our, oh, well, we've got a bunch more allies. And a bunch more allies. And I am looking. Okay. Looks like you have to sort a little bit of these stacks out. Separate a few of them. All right. And there we go. We'll look at these in a minute, but yeah, there's quite a few more allies than we thought. Let's see here. You ever going to stop buying every expansion you own for every game? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23 allies. Assuming there's no more hidden in any of the other decks. Tabletop sports, no Tony has to fine-tune his enabling, acting from experience. You love me. All right, let's look at our new kingdom cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. That is correct. All right. So let's look at them in all their glory, shall we? So we have forts. Forts. 3-cost action. And I can't read it upside down. So this pile starts the game with 4 copies of Tent, Garrison, Hill Fort, and then Stronghold. So this is going to be quite a theme. As you can see, there are 4 different cards that basically have this mechanic where you're stacking them up with cards on the bottom, and then in the middle, and then above that, and then on the top. And you're working your way through the deck to get to the more powerful cards. So we have Forts that does that. We have Odysseys, which do that. It's a 3-cost action Odyssey. This pile starts the game with 4 copies of the old map, the Voyage, the Sunken Treasure, and the Distant Shore in that order. And only the top card can be purchased. The Townfolk, 2-cost action Townfolk. The pile starts the game with 4 copies of the Town Crier, the Blacksmith, the Miller, and the Elder in that order. Only the top card can be gained. So it might take you a while to get through some of the maybe not as good cards, but as you dig through the pile to get to the more powerful cards at the bottom. And then, of course, we talked about the Wizards, which start with the Student, the Conjurer, the Sorcerer, and the Lich in that order. And only the top card can be got or gained. So we'll look at each of these cards when they come up. All right. So let's look at the other basic or standard cards in the deck. So they're not alphabetical, so we will just go it in random order. What do we have here? We have the yeah, vaguely fond of me. Vaguely. We have the Augurs. It's a 3-cost action. This pile starts the game with 4 copies. Oh, we have another one of them. Actually, we got a few. We have the Augurs, the Clashes, as well as these other cards we talked about. The Clashes, the Augurs, the Forts, the Odyssey, the Townfolk, and the Wizards. Now, is that all of them? I think it is. All right. So, we'll assume that is it. Now we'll get to the regular cards. So we have the Swap. You get an extra card, you get an extra action. It's a 5-cost action card. You may return an action from your hand to its pile to gain to your hand a different action costing up to 5. So you may return an action card from your hand to its pile to gain an action card, a different action card costing up to 5. That is swaps. Makes sense. You're swapping a card. You need this card and a different action card. That's why you get the extra action and the extra card. Interesting. We have the Sacophant. It's hard to read upside. Sacophant. It's a 2-cost action liaison. So this is liaison is now going to give us our tokens for our favors that we're going to need so we can get our allies out. Right? That is going to be, because it's going to give you a +1 action. Discard 3 cards. If you discard at least 1, +3 money. When you gain or trash this, you get +2 favors. All right, so it's a way to build up your favors so you can start spending them on the favors that will be out. So interesting. I'm going to have to check the wording on this. It says discard 3 cards. If you discard at least one, you get +3 money. So, interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that one up. All right, we have the town. It's an action 4 cost. Town. Choose one. You either get a card and 2 actions, or you get an extra buy and $2. So it gives you either a card and some actions, or it gives you an extra buy and some extra money. So it's very, situational. It helps you both ways. Interesting. All right, we have the Sentinel 3 cost action card. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may trash up to 2 of them, put the rest back in any order. So it's a good trashing card. Get rid of a couple bad ones, 2 bad ones, and then you get to rearrange. And you can trash up to 2 of them, so you don't have to trash any of them. So you don't have to worry about getting rid of anything good. And then you get to put the rest back in any order, which can help. You can then know what's on the top of your deck. So if you have other draws, you can then prepare for these draws. Skirmisher. It's a 5 cost action attack. Skirmisher. It gives you a card in action and a $1. And then this turn when you gain an attack card, each other player discards down to 3 cards. So when this guy comes out, he kind of wants you to get other attack cards to make other players discard down to 3 cards. All right, got to go and drop the 501st on some Jerry's head. Catch you later. All right, buddy. So we have the Specialist. 5 cost action. The Specialist. You may play an action or treasure from your hand and then choose one of these options. You either play it again or gain a copy of it. Oh, interesting. Cool. So you play an action or a treasure from your hand, and then you can choose to either play it again or get another copy of it. So you can play gold and then just play it again to get an extra gold, or you can get an extra gold card to add to your deck. Cool. Merchant Camp, +2 actions and +1 money. It's a 3 cost action. I guess I should start there. Gives you 2 actions and a $1. And when you discard this from play, you may put it onto your deck. When you discard this from play, you may put it onto your deck. Huh. Interesting. We have the modify. 5 cost action card. Trash a card from your hand, and then choose one. You either get +1 card and +1 action, or gain a card costing up to 2 more than the trash card. So you trash a card, get rid of a card, and then you get to either get an extra card and an extra action, or you can gain a card costing 2 more than the card you got rid of. So you could turn a gold into a province. We got the Royal Galley. This is going to be a duration card, 4 cost action. And it gives you +1 card. You may play a non-duration action card from your hand and set it aside. If you did, then at the start of your next turn, you can play it. So you put this card out, and then you can play a non-duration action card from your hand. Set it aside. If you did, then at the start of your next turn, you get to play it. So if it doesn't line up with what's in your current hand, you can always wait till the next hand, I guess. Importer. It is a 3-cost action duration liaison. Another liaison card to give our favors. At the start of your next turn, gain a card costing up to 5. And then during setup, each player gains +4 favors. Huh. So that is part of the setup of the game. Each player is going to start with 4 favors. All right, the Innkeeper gives you 4-cost action. It gives you +1 action. And then you get to choose one. You get a card or +3 cards, then discard 3 cards, or +5 cards and then discard 6 cards. Wow. So that's interesting. So you can choose one of these 3 options. You can either just get a card and you get an action. So you always get an action. Oop, give me a card. You always get an action. And then you get to choose one of these others, which is just gain a card. Second option is, or you can gain 3 cards and then discard 3 cards. Or you can gain 5 cards and then discard 6 cards. So the more cards you get, the less the benefit, but it gives you a lot better choices to make. Interesting. Okay. Marquois. 6-cost action. So this costs as much as a gold. It better be good. It gives you +1 buy. Marquis, I guess is the pronunciation. Marquis. It gives you a buy and then +1 card per card in your hand. And then discard down to 10 cards in hand. So you get a card for every other card in your hand. And then you discard down to 10 cards in your hand. So you're going to get up to 12 or 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards, whatever. And then you're going to discard down to 10. So interesting. Because you get +1 card per card in your hand. So if you had 2 of these guys, you could see that would be a lot of cards. You can go through your deck quite quickly to set up a really good 10-card hand. All right, Galleria. It's a 5-cost action. It gives you $3. And then this turn, when you gain a card costing 3 or 4, you get +1 buy. So buy something that costs 3 or 4, and you get an extra buy. And it gives you $3. A Guildmaster. Oop, come here, you Guildmaster, you. Guildmaster. 5-cost action liaison. Gives you $3 right off the bat. And then, when you gain a card this turn, you get +1 favor. So, another token to add to your favor board. Highwayman. It's a 5-cost action duration attack. Highwayman. At the start of your next turn, discard this from play and gain +3 cards. Until then, the first treasure each other player plays each turn does nothing. Ooh. That's interesting. So it kind of forces your opponent, if he's got like just 3 golds in his hand, but one of them is not going to do anything. Well, at least his first treasure card anyways. We have the Hunter. It's a 5-cost action. It gives you +1 action, so it pays for itself. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. From these cards, put an action, a treasure, and a victory card into your hand, and discard the rest. So you're going to look at 3 cards, and you're going to put an action, a treasure, and a victory card in your hand and discard the rest. So if you were to pull, say, 3 treasures, you're only going to get to use 1 of those 3 treasures, and the rest you'll have to discard. But if you are able to get an action and a treasure and a victory card, you would add all 3 of them to your hand. So it's kind of a Depends on how your, deck is set up. Interesting. All right, we have the Carpenter. It's 4-cost action. All right. If no supply piles are empty, you get an action and gain a card costing up to 4. So if no supply piles are empty at all, you get an action and then you get a card costing up to 4. Otherwise, trash a card from your hand and gain a card costing up to 2 more than it. So once the first supply pile becomes empty, you're going to trash a card from your hand and gain a card costing up to 2 more than it. We have the Contract. This is going to be a treasure, duration, and liaison. Gives you $2 and +1 favor. You may set aside an action card from your hand to play it at the start of your next turn. So you can set an action card aside. If you get too many actions, you don't have enough actions to play them, set one aside, play it at the start of your next turn. Courier gives you $1. It's a 4-cost action. Discard the top card of your deck. Look through your discard pile. You may play an action or treasure from it. So discard the top card of your deck. So you're going to take the top card, discard it. So you're always going to have at least one card in your discard pile. And then you're going to look through your discard pile and you can play an action or a treasure from it. Ooh, interesting. That's cool. Emissary. 5-cost action, a liaison again. You get 3 cards right off the bat. And then if this made you shuffle at least 1 card, then you get an extra action and 2 favors. So you get 3 cards. And if this card made you shuffle at least 1 card, then you get an action and 2 favors. So if you had a few of these in your hand, that would be interesting how that would come into play. We have the Barbarians. We talked about the Barbarians in the story. It's a 5-cost attack action, and it gives you $2. Each other player trashes the top card of their deck. If it costs 3 or more, they gain a cheaper card sharing a type with it. Otherwise, they gain a curse. Each other player trashes the top card of their deck. If it costs 3 or more, they gain a cheaper card sharing a type with it. So if it's an action, they get another action card that is cheaper than the card they trashed. If it's a treasure card, they get a treasure card that's cheaper, etc. Otherwise, they gain a curse. Interesting. Barbarian, Bobble. It's a Bobble. It's a 2-cost treasure liaison. Choose 2 different options. You get to choose 2 different options. You get a buy, a buck, and a favor. So you can get a buy and a favor, or a buck and a buy, or a favor and a buy. And then this turn, when you gain a card, you may put it on your deck. Ooh, so buy a card, put it right on top of your deck. That's cool. That's the Babel. Then we have the Broker. No. Yes, we do have a Broker. Yes. 4-cost action liaison. Trash a card from your hand and choose one of these options. Oh my god, here we go. So you're going to trash a card and then you're going to choose one of these options. +1 card for every buck it costs. +1 action for every buck it costs. +1 buck for each buck it costs. And +1 favor for each buck it costs. So you can either get a card for its cost, an action for its cost for its cost, or a favor for its cost. Wow. Capital City. 5-cost action card. Gives you a card and 2 actions right off the bat. Capital City. You may discard 2 cards for $2. Discard 2 cards for $2. Or you may pay $2 to get 2 cards. So discard 2 cards for $2 or pay $2 to gain 2 cards. Interesting. And then, last but not least, the Underling gives you a card, a favor, and a buck. It's a 3-cost action liaison, the Underling. And then, of course, like we talked about in the beginning, the cards that grow, the clashes that start with battle plans, archers, warlords, and territories. You have the augurs, which have herb gatherers, the acolytes, the sorcerers, and the sibyls. You have the forts, which are the tent, the garrison, the hill fort, and the stronghold. You have the Odysseys, which start with the old map, then the village, and the sunken treasure, and then the distant shore. You have the townfolk, which start with the town crier, the blacksmith, the miller, and the elder. And you have the wizards, which are the student, the conjurer, the sorcerer, and the witch. And those will all be stacked up with one another. And that is that. All right, looking good, looking good. I'm going to move the microphone back just slightly so we can. Put the rest of these cards in here. Got the Babel. And the Broker. And the Capital City. And hey, Richard, how you doing? Carpenter. And the Contract. And the Courier. Embassy. A Galleria. The Guildmaster. 400 cards, my friends. 400 cards in this pack. That's a lot of cards. Sorcerer and the Witch. And the Student. Sorcerer, Witch. Student, Conjurer, Sorcerer. Why some of these are out of order? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. There's 4. Student, Conjurers 4. Elder, Student. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Town Crier. Sunken Treasure. Distant Shore. Yes, I'm really good at this, aren't I? 2, 3, 4. It's all those years of practicing putting these games together. Highwayman. All right. Hunter. Importer. All right. What do we have left? The Innkeeper. The Marquee. It is really thundering outside. The Merchant Camp. Modifier. Modify, not modifier. the Royal Galley, the Sentinel, Skirmisher, Specialist, and we're almost done, folks. Swap. The Sycophant, Town, the Underling, the Herb Gatherer, Acolytes, Sorcerers, Sybil, Battle Plan, Archer, Warlords, Territory, Tent, Garrison, Hill Fort, Stronghold, and the old map. What did I do with the old map? What did I do with the old map? That is a great question. What did I do with the old map? Aha. 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 Of course. Alright, now we gotta look at our... Alright. Then the clashes, which goes Battle Plan. Where's Battle Plan? Battle Plan. Alright. 4 copies of Battle Plan. Then the Archer. Then the Warlord. Then the Territory. Okay, so that one is done. So the Battle Plan gives you a card in action, and then you reveal an attack card from your hand for +1 card, and you may rotate any supply pile. Alright, and that is the Clash. So the Clashes go here. Okay. That's the Clash one. Then we have the Augurs, which is the Herb Gatherer. Right. Then the Acolytes. Then the Sorcerer and the Sorcerer. And then the... Oh, wait a minute. I have to check. There is a Sorcerer and a Sorceress. There's a Sorcerer and a Sorceress. This is the Sorceress, not the Sorcerer. Good thing I caught that. So it goes the Herb Gatherer to the Acolyte to the Sorceress to the Sybil. Okay, these are the Augurs. So they go up here in this section there. And we have the forts. We go Tent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the Garrison. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Hill Fort. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the Stronghold. And those are the forts. Then we got the Odysseys. We got the old map. Okay, old map. And the voyage. Where's the voyage? Then the sunken treasure. And then the distant shore, which is a victory point. Gives you 2 cards in action, and then gaining estates, and it also counts as 2 victory points at the end of the game. At the bottom of this, so got to get through the old map, then through the voyage, then the sunken treasure to get to that. And these are called the Odyssey. So they're going to be in there. Like that. And we have the Town Folk, which is the Town Crier. Then the Blacksmith. So Town Crier, Blacksmith, the Miller, and then the Elder. And they are the Town Folk. We're going to go right here. And then the Wizards are going to be the Student, then the Conjurer, the Sorcerer, and the Witch. And that should be the end of the cards. And they are going to go in the Wizards area. You can take your tokens, put them right there. Take your playmats, put them across however you wish to do it. Put your rule book back on top. And you have your brand new Dominion expansion number 14 ready to go, ready to play with you, ready to go. There you got it. And of course, with all of its information on the back. So of course it adds the new allies, cards, and the favors that you're going to use to activate those allies. 14th expansion for the base Dominion game, adding more variety, more of everything in the game. And for some reason, this expansion is not in properly. It is not in properly. So now, now when I flip it over, there we go. Everything is now hunky-dory. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully it was an informative information on the new Dominion expansion allies. Pick it up at your local game shop or your online realtors. We'll see everybody next time. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. And I hope everyone has a great night. Talk to you guys soon. Take care, guys.